Fica legal, cara, ó. Olha que legal, cara.
Cara, choveu aranha.
Nunca vi uma coisa dessa, cara.
Meu Deus. Sometimes we have rainstorms, hailstorms, or acid rain. But did you guys know that a bunch of scary objects have actually fallen from the sky? From a big cow to small spiders, this list has it all. Like, I kid you not. So it's time to grab your umbrella because things are about to get pretty scary and are about to fall from the sky. Well, how's it going, YouTube? I'm your host for this one, Landon Do Not Sing, and welcome back to another Most Amazing Top 10 video. In the comment section below, let me know, what do you think would be the scariest thing if it fell from the sky? For me, it might be like a shark. Like, if a shark fell from the sky, I would be mortified. Well, let me know your answers in the comment section below, and let's just jump right into this video. So let's get this started in at number 10 with earthworms. Yeah, that's right, thousands of earthworms were seen falling from the sky in Norway, and this was back in 2015. And apparently, this isn't the first time that earthworms have fallen from the sky there. A man named Karsten Ersted discovered that it was raining earthworms while he was skiing. At first he thought that these earthworms came from the ground, but there was over 50 centimeters of snow on the ground, so yeah, that would kind of make it impossible, wouldn't it? Well, he reported that there were thousands of worms falling from the sky, and at first he thought that they were dead. But then he picked them up, and they were still alive. I mean, this is so freaking gross. I would literally go straight down the hill with my skis and never look back. And I guess this might be a fisherman's dream, because that is like unlimited bait, if bait is just falling from the sky. Well, from worms to strange blobs in at number 9. Over in the town of Oakville, Washington, it began to rain in the afternoon. Rain in this area is actually really common, but this rainfall was extremely weird. A strange substance was falling from the sky, and it caused a major concern in the area. Well, these things were the size of a grain of rice. Later on in the afternoon, a ton of the residents became violently ill. They had difficulties breathing, they had vertigo, blurred vision, and extreme nausea. A bunch of cats and dogs who came into contact with the substance became very sick, and they eventually died. One of the residents sent a small sample of the blob to be tested, and the results were shocking. The blob actually contained human white blood cells and 2 types of bacteria. People are saying that it came from an airplane, while others are saying that it came from aliens. Well, that's gotta be the logical answer, right? The aliens part? A cow drops into this list at number 8. Okay, wait a minute, how the heck does a cow fall from the sky? What kind of world are we living in? Well, back in 1997, a Japanese fishing ship sank, and the men were rescued by a Russian patrol boat in the Sea of Japan. When the men were asked what happened to their ship, they said that a cow fell from the sky and sank it. Well, obviously Russians thought that this was fake news, so they arrested them and put them in jail. Well, that's kind of a harsh punishment, don't you think? Because several weeks later, a member of the Russian Air Force told the Japanese authorities that one of their crew members stole a cow for its beef and took it on their plane. The cow was acting up, so they decided to open up the hatch and moo. They just pushed the cow out of the plane. I don't know why they didn't just slaughter the cow first and then bring it onto the plane, like they had a full-on live cow on the plane. I wonder if he had to go through security. And are you allowed to bring beef on the plane? I don't know. Or at least sedate this big guy so he's not problematic. Dead birds fly into this list at number 7. I'm gonna call this Birdageddon. A man from British Columbia, Canada witnessed dozens of birds falling from the sky. He was driving on a busy highway when all of a sudden he saw the birds suddenly hitting the ground around his car. He said that the birds dove face first into the pavement and died instantly. Well, that sounds super traumatizing. No, seriously, someone call Stephen King and tell him that I have an idea for his next book. I want to forget this has ever happened, so you know what, let's move on. Alright, number 6, we have scary meat chunks. Okay, what the heck? Is it too late to go back to the birds? So on March 3rd, 1876, large chunks of a rotting flesh fell from the sky, and this took place in Kentucky. 2 brave men offered to taste the meat to see what animal it came from. I don't know who would offer to taste it. That just sounds so ludicrous to me. And I'm gonna go ahead and say that they're not the sharpest tools in the shed. They don't know what kind of bacteria could be on the meat. Maybe they like having ringworms or salmonella. Anyways, these 2 men tasted the meat. Anyways, the 2 men said the meat tasted like mutton or venison, but a 3rd man said it was bear. Like, for sure. Well, how the hell do you know what bear tastes like? I would stay far away from him. Well, the mysterious meat came from a projectile vulture vomit. Now that is just disgusting, and these men ate it. Sucks to volunteer on that day. Giant metal balls fall into this list at number 5. Giant balls of metal were seen falling from the sky in different parts of the world. Well, that doesn't sound very safe now, does it? People over in Peru found a bunch of huge rocks in a field after they saw this in the sky. Take a look. Those rocks are absolutely massive. They could easily wipe out the entire human race if enough of them fell on them. As it turns out, this fireball was actually a Russian space rocket that was re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Vampire fish swim their way onto this list at number 4. Over in a small Alaskan town, mysterious giant vampire fish started to fall from the sky. These guys were a foot long and they were known as Arctic lampreys. They have 5 rows of sharp teeth and they were found laying in gardens, streets, and in parking lots. Families were so freaking terrified by these scary looking fish. Some of them were even too scared to come out of their homes. Well, you know what? I don't blame them. Take a look at their teeth. I'd lock myself into my house for weeks until the town got rid of them. There's no way in hell you would see me out there with these dead vampire fish. Spiders come crawling onto this list, or should I say come falling onto this list at number 3. Eric Reese was hired to be a videographer for his friend's wedding. As he was driving to the venue, it started to rain spiders. Now I know this is a lot of people's biggest fear. Thousands of them were falling from the sky. So instead of getting the heck out of there, Eric thought it would be a great idea to pull out his camera and film the whole thing. And to be honest, this is probably something that I would do as well. I'm not afraid of spiders, but maybe if there was like 100 of them coming down, maybe I'd be pretty terrified.
Que legal, cara, ó. Olha que legal, cara.
Cara, choveu aranha.
Nunca vi uma coisa dessa, cara.
Meu Deus!
But raining spiders isn't actually as strange as it seems. Apparently, the eczemus spider hangs from trees and they create webs that are 65 feet in the air and in trees. They do this to trap insects, but if the wind blows too hard, the spiders can fall off the web, so it looks like that it's raining spiders. Sounds pretty creepy to me. Moving up on this list, number 2, we have people. On September 25th, 1978, a woman was sitting in her parked car with her young son when suddenly, out of nowhere, a human body crashed just right into her windshield. I mean, that's probably one of the most traumatizing things that she's ever seen. I mean, where the hell did this body come from? Well, a Pacific Southwest plane crashed into another plane, killing 144 people. The person that smashed through the windshield was one of the victims. I just can't imagine what this must have been like. This is actually known as one of the worst aviation crashes in California's history. Blood drips onto our list at number 1. In 2008, bloody rain was falling from the sky over a small Spanish city. The residents were scared that this blood rain was part of some sort of hazardous chemicals, or it was an act of God. Priests in the village were saying that this rain was a sign from God that people will have to change their sinful ways. But they were wrong. According to scientists, this bloody rain was actually a lot less scary. The liquid turned out to be rainwater. It was infused with a type of microalgae. When the water mixed with the algae, it changed the pigment to red. Could you imagine if this was actually blood? Now that would be the biggest stain in history. Well, there you guys have it. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next most amazing top 10 video. Bye.